Hey guys, it's PlazmaScream, and this week we're going to be talking about our challenge character, New 42 Superman. And this is one of the best Superman characters and one of the best Special 2 carries because he's a 3-hit, potential 3 KO Special 2. It is capable of knocking out an entire team with just one use. And each hit's going to hit pretty hard as well. And on top of that, he can chain it from the Master's Death Card and from his heavies. A lot of 3-hit, 3 KO Special 2 carries cannot chain from Master Death Card. He can, and chain for his basics. So this is a very, very good Special 2. And it's fully ranged too, so you'll never have any issues. Okay. If I can tag in there we go. Okay, so we'll do the heavy combo, usually do huge damage, blast him, and is that the whole team? Close. Close, you wanted to block it. Well, last guy's dead. Easy. Easy. Let me see if I can get another match. Really want to see if I can get that 3 KO, you know? Okay, Catwoman might be getting in the way of that if she tags in second. If she doesn't, we'll be alright. Alright, oh crap, I forgot. Brandy's gonna make this annoying. Alright, come on. Let's beat him up. Just beat the crap out of him. Don't even throw specials, just basic attacks. Come on, more. More, come on. Okay, finally. And this, there we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Bam, one shot. Bam, one shot. Bam, beautiful. That's what I want to see. Hell yeah. All right. As you can see, he is a bit of a killer. His Special 2 minigame is very difficult to do, though. It's 5% per swipe, and they don't give you a whole lot of time to get 200%. So it's very hard to get 200% with him. You have to be kind of swiping like crazy in order to get it. If you do, however, with this setup here, I get 118,000 damage per hit of a Special 2 with these gears. We have Master Death Card, Totem, Demon Blade for 100% crit chance. He can chain his Special 2 from Master Death cards, and if you had like a Ava Stick or Heart of Darkness or Demonic Cloak, you could just rip it right away. But since we're not using that, I have to go for a heavy combo, which is fine, because when I do that, the heavy attacks are going to soften the opponent up before the Special 2 comes out, and when it does, because of the extra damage, that's going to get a one-shot, and then he's going to just plow through the rest of them. That in particular is super, super, super nice for fighting anybody who has a health threshold effect, like Raven Prime, New 42 Shazam, John Stewart teams, Astro Harness users, any of that stuff. That's really annoying to fight. It'll weaken them without triggering their passive or gear or whatever, and then you can use Special 2 and just bypass it, just one-shot them straight through it, ignore all that crap, which is fantastic. And his super strong basics, make that very easy to do because it's passive. Now, you don't have to use these exact teammates here that I'm using. I'm just using Dawn Justice Batman because, number one, I like him. Number two, I just need a good gear shatter for the team. It can be a different Batman if you want, or a different support. This is just who I'm using. We have Claw Horse, Let's Go Helmet, Ava Stick. I would use Razor Go Scimitar, but it's not so important to have immediate bar power for gear shattering for this team because he's so good at destroying Astro Harness users that it's not a big problem. And then we have Lex Luthor, Bronze as the tank, and he is here just for his 50% damage increase. You could run like Batman Prime or Animator Harley over him if you wanted to. I have those two on different teams, so I'm just using Bronze Lex in this team. Just as good as them. Not quite as much damage, but still very much appreciated. So that is Superman. We can go ahead and talk about his challenge here real quick. You need a Flash, a Green Lantern, and a Wonder Woman to do the challenge. Pretty easy, as Flash and Green Lantern are bronzes, and Wonder Woman you can just get as a silver. So nothing crazy expensive requirements, pretty easy to get. Uh, what's interesting about the challenge is in expert mode, because in challenge 4, there's a fight that has a Suicide Squad Deadshot, um, Silver Harley, and like the Silver Deathstroke, and you can fight. There's a chance that you might actually receive Suicide Squad Deadshot from that fight if you win. I've never had it happen before, but I have seen it. I have seen people receive him before. So there is a chance that it could happen. And also on expert mode on challenge 5, the last fight versus the Noof 2 Superman boss is extremely difficult. I mean, really, really, really hard. He has over 100,000 health. I think like it's gonna say 132k or something like that, but in actuality, it's probably way higher than that because I used a character that should have been able to one shot them, and I did not one shot them. They lived on maybe like 20% health left still. So I'm thinking he actually has a lot more health than it says he does. And on top of that, he has a regeneration passive that they give to him in this fight, and he regenerates an insanely high amount of HP, and it makes it very difficult to get any damage to stick on him. So you need to do like super, super, super high damage in like a single hit, in order to get some really good damage on him. Otherwise, if you're just doing like low damage, he's just gonna heal it off, and you won't even be able to scratch him. So if you don't have really good gears or very strong characters, honestly, you might skip that fight with credits, because he is very hard to break through without a good strong character and gears. So that is the challenge there, and we can talk about more of Superman here. So he has base 1300 damage and base 1500 health. Higher health than damage is not good, especially 200 more. But he still gets a pretty decent amount of damage at Elite 7, which is great. And 89k health is not outrageous. So Elite 7, he gets, when max damage augmented as mine is, you get 62,000, 89k health. My team that I use, that we saw a moment ago, gets 100k team power. So your epic ladder will be like 4,000 BR on the first match, and then 4.5, and then 4.5 again after that, and then 5,000, and then 14,400 on the last match of the epic ladder. So that's what that would look like. If you took him from Elite 7 to Elite 8, with just my Superman fully augmented and all that, you would get 109k team power. And that's pretty good too, but I don't really know if I want to do that or if I recommend that, because then you're going to have to fight probably a lot more Astro Harnesses. Though he is pretty well suited in destroying those kind of characters. So, if you were interested in getting a stronger Superman, you could potentially take him to Elite 8. Although Elite 7 is very safe, in my opinion. I think I like that more. As far as passive, so he has 2 parts of his passive. Number 1 is when he gets a lot of power, he gets a damage increase to his basics. Just his basics, not his specials. But this is still useful because it's going to allow him to do crazy damage on his basics and soften them up for the special 2 to get easy one-shots, and then keep going and just one-shot the rest of the team. Like I said, that's already really great and helpful for fighting anyone who's got health threshold effects, because you can just ignore all that and bypass them, and that's super good. It does stack, so it can get stronger, though there's not really often times where you're just going to be only using his heavies or his basics. But there are some cases where it could be useful, like if you're fighting an Earth 2 Brandy or a Reverse Flash, or like Killer Frost, like characters that maybe are going to make it harder for you to use specials, so you can just beat them up with your basics instead. And it can actually get up to 300% damage increase for the basics, which would make him hit very, very hard, like over 20,000, probably close to 30,000 for each heavy combo hit if you're critting with no gears, which is kind of nuts. And then the second part is passive. This is a little misleading. So number 1, this does not include Noof 2 Superman. So by default, he does not get 15% less damage. and he actually has to have Justice League teammates alongside him, again, not including himself. So if you had one of any of these characters listed, Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, he would get 15% less damage reduction, but it's not towards specials, it's to basics. So he takes less damage from basics only, not specials. It does not say that, but I have tested it and it's just basic attacks. So not quite as helpful, but it can, be appreciated if you're fighting a really dangerous like Flashpoint Batman or Damage Account one, or maybe an enemy Nuke 2 Superman, just for example, or maybe the Arkham Knights. But not a whole lot of crazy strong basic attackers. Mainly it's just specials that are scary. And if you were to add another Justice League character to the team, you would get 30% less damage taken from basic attacks, which is nice, but not the craziest thing in the world. So yeah, you might think you should build him towards basics because his passive says he's got buffs towards basics, or you might think that, hey, I should give him like New for 2 Wonder Woman and just like spam specials over and over until he gets 3 bars. Like, listen, that's like very novelty stuff. Like, it's very niche. Just the best way to use New 2 Superman is to use that crazy special 2. His special 2 is so strong. It is way better and way faster at winning matches, way easier winning matches, way safer than relying on his basics. And honestly, a lot of time when you're playing with Superman, you're really not going to make any use of his passive, like, at all. Like, a lot of times you'll probably just one-shot them anyway, even if you didn't touch them with your basics. Like, it's so strong. I mean, it's a 3-hit, 3 KO special 2. Those are rare. You should take advantage of that. There's only a few characters in the whole game that have that. I can list them off, and he's got one of the best ones. Nuke 2 Superman, of course, and Justice 2 Superman, but he's actually weaker, even with his passive effect, and his first and second hits are actually weaker because the way his special 2's damage distribution is, it's like, 2 good hits, and then the last hit is a super strong hit. But with Nuke 2 Superman special 2, this damage distribution, each hit is really solid. So it's very consistent. But while Nuke 2 Superman, it's not the same damage on every single hit. And so as a result, he has a harder time bypassing on the first hit. He does less damage. As if I had just 2 Superman Elite 7 and augmented, he'd have the same stats as Nuke 2 Superman. But Nuke 2 Superman would actually hit harder on the first hit, which is the most important hit, as it allows you to get around those health thresholds, like Astro Harness, as you see here. John Stewart, Raven Prime, Nuke 2 Shazam, all that stuff. So, you got Justice Superman. You also have Beyond Batman. He actually is very similar stats as Nuke 2 Superman. I have them both max damage. I can show them right here. Yeah, so we got a little bit higher damage, actually, 63k. So he hit a little bit harder than Nuke 2 Superman. So they're pretty similar. The thing is, though, Beyond Batman has a harder time chaining his special 2 from Master's Death Guard. So a lot of times I just run him with back row, and I run like Totem and back row to get 2 bars that way. He can chain, but it's harder. Sometimes they can miss. So a lot of times I just don't even bother running Master's Death Guard, or I have to run like Regime Green Lantern with him, or back row Prime alongside Master's Death Guard to make sure he chains. Or I might even have to go for basics and try to chain from basics, But Superman does not have to do that. He can just rip that special 2 right away, or get the consistent special 2 chain from his heavy combo. So that is something he has over them. There's also Yellow Lantern, who is stronger at Elite 7 because he has 1400 damage. But again, he cannot chain from the Master's Death Card. His special 2 can only chain the second and third hits from the Master's Death Card, not the first hit. So you miss out on a lot of damage from not getting that first hit to connect. While again, Superman can land all 3 hits from Death Card and knock out the whole team. Is there anybody else that can do that? Red Sun Superman, if you fight certain characters like a Jessica Cruz or a Nuke 2 Nightwing, I believe. I've tested it. And like if he gets a knockout and then one of those 2 characters tags in as the second character, he can land the heat blast, the heat vision from his eyes on them, potentially knock them out, and then the last hit can knock out somebody else. That can get you 3 kills, though he is weaker. that Noob 2. But it's just against those two characters though. I think everybody else they usually don't actually get hit by the heat vision. It's kind of weird. Um, is there anybody else that can 3-hit 3 KO? I don't think so. I think it's like really really rare. There's only like 4 or 5 of them. I might have missed one. I don't remember exactly. I'm just checking here. No. Okay. So, he's got a very, very rare and very, very powerful special 2 that you should absolutely take advantage of. As for like, other teammates, you could give him definitely Batman Prime would be really appreciated because he is like not only a Justice League character, but he gives him more damage from his passive, and as a bypass carry, capable of just one-shotting and bypassing all those annoying health threshold characters and effects, getting even more damage is going to make that even easier. You could give him, John Stewart. You could give him like Red Sun teammates, like Red Sun Wonder Woman and Red Sun Batman. Wonder Woman to give him more power duration. That way he does not even have to go for the heavy combo. So that could save you some time if you want like Wonder Woman plus like Batman, Red Sun Batman. It's like right up here somewhere. It's like right here. That'd be a good combo. You have a good Gear Shatter of Red Sun Batman, and also the power duration from Red Sun Wonder Woman, and then combined will give you 30% instead of 15%. You get 30% power duration from the 2 Red Suns, and also 30% basic attack reduction from the 2. If you had, if you had Red Sun Superman low promoted, then you really want more damage increase for your basics. You could run like Red Sun Superman and one other Red Sun character to get extra 30% basic attack increase from the Superman. So you could do like Superman plus Batman or Superman plus Wonder Woman. So that'd be an option. Let's see what else you could do. You go in Arcanite Batman instead of DOJ if you have him. Regime Flash will be good because a lot of times I will do the heavy combo on Taggin to get that special 2 at the start of the fight. So getting a faster heavy combo will make that even better. I do that with Red Sun Superman sometimes. Regime Green Lantern will be good again for the power duration, so that way you do not even have to do the heavy combo. Anybody else? Hawkgirl's always good, of course. Basically, like what you're gonna do is you're gonna use like someone with a helpful passive as a tank, and then a good Gear Shatter. Just a very simple team like that. Not this. You could also do. I like to do this a lot with my 3-hit 3 KO carries. I'll give them like back roll to give them extra power, and I'll do like say Astro plus 4th World Gears, and then when I have back roll, and I do this with like Beyond Batman a lot. Where is my Superman? I'll do like Let's Go Helmet plus Demon Blade plus Tainted Totem. That way I tag in, I get 2 bars, and then I get a super, super, super strong special 2. Because the helmet will give you a huge damage increase from its crit boost. So you'll get guaranteed crit chance from his Augments, Totem, Demon Blade, and damage increase from Demon Blade, and a damage increase from Let's Go Helmet. And that will just make you hit really, really hard. And then you can make it even harder than that if you give like a team of like Batman Prime plus Batgirl Prime plus Noof 2 Superman. And then you're just gonna like do insane damage. You're probably gonna do like close to 150,000 damage to that setup. Like you're gonna do just nuts damage. Like there's nobody you're not gonna be able to one shot. And there's one more combo you could do. Though keep in mind if you will do this, I would recommend having your Superman like Elite 5. But you could pair him alongside Noof 2 Black Adam, who is a great teammate to use alongside 3-hit 3 KO carries, special 2 carries. And for a team like that, you would do Noof 2 Black Adam, Elite 3 Evolved, with Astro and 4th World, like that. And then Superman with Deathcard, Totem, Demon Blade, or Razor Scimitar, Totem, Demon Blade. And then for your last one, because you have less stats from being Elite 5, You want to have Batman Prime for more damage to make up for less stats and less promotions. And then for him, you would build him to be support. And you could do either Claw Horse, Master Death Card, Ibistic, or Let's Go Helmets instead of that. Or if Superman was running Master Death Card, you can run this instead and have Batman in the first slot. And that could be a very effective team for him. I did try that before I promoted my Superman. I tried Elite 5 Superman. It's decent. You can definitely do that. But that's like, you have to keep an Elite 5. Because if you have him higher than that, you're going to get a lot harder matches. Because Black Adam takes up so much team power, from his, he has to be Elite 3 to get that guaranteed, his guaranteed pass to activate. The lightning strikes, This will not be 100% assist chance if he's not evolved. So in order to get the guaranteed lightning strikes when opponents tag in, to stagger them and make it so they get blasted by the special 2s after the KOs. Because what this does is, after you get a KO, someone will tag in. They'll get struck by lightning, but when that happens, they can't block. It staggers them and they can't do anything. And so if you're in the middle of an attack, like a basic attack or a special, your next attack will be able to blast them and they will be unable to block it at all. They will just get destroyed and they can't stop you. So if you're one-shotting everybody, then the whole team's going to get one shot and the whole team's going to get dropped in one special 2 and they will not even be able to stop you. They will not be able to defend themselves. So that's a very, very powerful combination to use. A 3-3 KO special 2 carry alongside Nifty Black Adam. So that's a very viable setup. You would just have to make your Superman Elite 5 instead of Elite 7. I do not recommend using a higher promoted Superman alongside Black Adam because you're going to get some really hard matches. And honestly, at that point, it's not worth doing because while on paper, it's going to look like you're going to just destroy everybody, but your matches are going to be a lot harder and take longer time to win because of the more difficult opponents you're going to fight and who have more advanced gear setups and whatnot, and more better structured teams. So because of that, it's going to slow you down. So it might look like you're going to get very fast matches because of the combo, Nifty Black Adam and Superman. But if Superman's got too much stats, and Black Adam already has high stats, look at it, it's got 44k, 78k, just Elite 3. Even if you keep Black Adam Elite 3, he still gets a lot of stats. I wish you could just not have this health support card or something on him. That way you can save some stats, He doesn't take up so much. But if you had Superman really high, that would it'd be really slow, So definitely had to do 3-5-0 for the promotions if you were going to do that. I have a feeling that maybe Noob 2 Superman could be good for defense because he does have a very good special 2. It fully chains from Master Death Card and it comes out very fast. When you're fighting an enemy Superman, it can catch you off guard and it can just blast you out of nowhere and knock you out in one shot if it's strong enough. So that can definitely catch people off guard and sweep people's teams. Because even if you're a good player, it comes out so fast. It's so fast and it can be so strong. And that can definitely, drop you if you're not on point with your blocking and whatnot. And even if you are, if he's got Master Death Card, it can still knock you out through your block if you're not, sturdy enough of a tank. An easy combo to make would be Shazam plus Superman. That way, Shazam can buff Superman with his passive. But do note, Shazam is not a Justice League character. He just buffs Justice League teammates. So you would get basically 40% damage increase to your basics, to basic attacks for Superman, and 25% damage reduction to specials. And that's not including if you had an additional Justice League character, and not including if you had any damage reduction gears. So that's something you could run. And you could also run Nuke 2 Black Adam on defense too. Though he does not count as Justice League character. He does count towards the Shazam's passive, but he does not count towards buffing the basic attack damage reduction for Superman. But that is something you could do. Because that could potentially, the whole line of strike thing, that also works against other players. So that can catch them off guard. If you want Batman to laughs, if you want more damage on Superman, also get a quick into Joker. Batman to laughs and Shazam's one of the best combos, so that's already a great team just as is. Throw a good carry like Superman in there or a good tank, depending on your gears you have for Superman on defense, and you would have a really super solid team. I have an idea for that. I'm gonna try out this week for this MP season. That's probably the only new to Superman defense team I would use. Is like one with Shazam and probably like Batman Laughs or maybe Black Adam. I don't think I'd use anybody else. And if I did do that, there's like 2 gear setups I would do. Here, let me get my Superman out. Where is he? I would do something like this. This is if I had Shazam as the first select character. I would probably do something like this. That way he tags in and he gains power from the Master's Death Card, and then that power gain will feed him damage reduction for Batman Helmet, because the more power you have, the more damage reduction you have. As the passage says right here, for every 5% available power, damage received is reduced by 2.3%. So you will get immediate power from the Master Death Card, and that will give him a lot of damage reduction alongside that, and also Killer Croc Panic Card evolved, and Shazam. So he'll be immediately very tanky and hard to knock out from basics and specials. So that's pretty nice. And it does give you more damage reduction for basic attacks here too. So like already, like not even including Ninja Helmets, alongside Shazam, you're looking at like 60% damage reduction versus basic attacks. And then even more from Ninja Helmet, of course, and more HP increase. So that'd be really nice. And then, of course, like one more thing I'd probably do is like maybe this, or like, you can't just go do this, can't go wrong with that. The third hit of a special 2 does come out after the second hit does a freeze. So you might think, oh, I should do Necron Scythe on Superman. He already is going to one-shot people anyway, so I think that's really a waste. Like, it might seem like an obvious combo, but I don't think that's really worth doing. He's going to one-shot people regardless. And also, if somebody blocks, they won't get frozen. So that could just negate that, little combo. So really, I don't recommend using Necron Scythe on Superman to try and get like a freeze damage increase on special 2. It's not worth it. He's gonna one-shot them regardless. You don't need more damage on that. So I would just build towards damage reduction if you're doing defense or like protection, like Astro Harness, stuff like that. But yeah, that is about all I can say for New 2 Superman. Hope you guys enjoyed and learned a lot about this really awesome and powerful character today. Tomorrow we're gonna have Darkseid Prime as the challenge character, and I'm going to try to put out a video on him. And there is actually a really sick strategy that we're going to talk about that uses Darkseid Prime, and we're actually going to use a bronze carry team that utilizes bronze Green Lantern, and I have augmented him in damage and crit chance and crit damage to use alongside Darkseid. And I'm not kidding when I say he hits for almost 100,000 damage per hit of a special 2. Like, this is a seriously good carry. A bronze Darkseid team is legit. It's like a seriously viable team that you could use for multiplayer. And if you were to ever like do more bronze breakthroughs, you would just like smoke through every character. You'd be like 1-shot or 2-shot in Ares easily. And whenever you're doing like Nightmare bronze fights, this guy's just gonna rip through them. Like, this is a seriously good carry. I think out of all the bronzes, this is like the best one for being a Darkseid carry, like easily. Special 2 is fantastic. It's 2-hit, 2 KO, and it changed Mass Death Card. Like, it's perfect. It does not get better than that, and it's super fast and it's really strong. So we're gonna talk about that later. That's for that video. Just want to let you guys know ahead of time. But yeah, thanks you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed and learned a lot. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you.